Cheers.
Cheers.
God, can I sound any more British? Sorry.
That was awesome. That was beautiful.
Not more British than me, Mike.
Cheers. 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 Cheers.
So, when you're shooting the film, where are you staying, like at night?
Oh, it's a mix. We stayed here. We stayed in a hotel here in San Diego where we're doing this press tour at. We stayed on base in Fallon. We stayed at a casino in Lemoore.
Oh man,
You guys remember that?
Yeah,
we sure did.
That was that the Golden Nugget?
Blowing money
No,
sideways.
the Tachi Palace.
Tachi
Tachi
Palace. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Whidbey Island. We stayed.
Roosevelt?
Yeah, Whidbey Island. We stayed on base, and then we stayed on the Roosevelt. When we were on the carrier out to sea.
And what's it like staying on an aircraft carrier? What do you do for hijinks on an aircraft carrier?
You do,
Not a lot of hijinks on the
you
idea.
misbehave
It's
a lot.
kind of a liability, the hijinks on it. What were the roommate assignments here?
The best one.
That was me and Miles.
Me and Danny.
You with Claudio.
I was with Claudio, the DP. That was a masterclass. Yeah, I would go to. He had the longest hours. I don't know how that man functions because he would come into our room at like 11:30 at night after scouting the whole aircraft carrier, and then he would like watch some movies on his little screen, and then he would wake up at like 4 in the morning, and I would have little slivers of the day where he'd tell me like, yeah, I just watched this movie and I learned this and I learned that, and I learned so much in those 2 weeks, and I feel bad for you guys that you guys didn't get to experience that.
Yeah.
Is this why you have so many close-ups in the film?
Yeah, Claudio and I. Yeah.
Makes
Oh,
sense.
sorry, wait. That's Claudio.
Is that Claudio?
Obviously you're busy shooting a movie, but what are you getting up to together when on your hours off?
Oh, we're having drinking parties, a drinking contest.
We are.
No.
We are.
No, we just realized that we all hadn't gone out together. We've always been missing one person from all our nights out, so
Yeah.
we might hit the town these days.
Yeah. We did a lot of
This
gym.
might be a rat party, guys.
We did a lot of gym
I think we're
time.
doing that right now.
We spent a lot of time in the gym together. The one place
Yeah.
that we probably all consistently went together was the gym.
I was in that gym so
Much, Lou. So much. You were so
there the
disciplined.
Yeah, because it was skins versus shirts,
I've never
right?
had
And I was
anyone.
the only shirt.
I've never had anyone so dedicated to handing me weights. It was the most amazing thing.
I was always there for you. I was
You
always
were there
there
for me, and I will never forget
I
you
always
for
had the
that.
same
So there's this the video, the drumline video of you guys battling. That's one of my
That
favorite
actually
gym
was
videos
awesome.
of all time.
Oh yeah, that was
is
a
great.
masterpiece. I felt bad that I missed that day. I had a lot of FOMO
Really?
on the day that you shot that.
Was that Lemoore?
I went to the
That
wrong
was
gym.
Lemoore?
that was
Lemoore.
that was Lemoore.
I think I might have been flying.
That was
You two must have been
Yeah.
flying. Yeah.
No, I was shooting the video, guys. Again, I'm the
Oh no, you were there
cinematographer.
for the first part of the video, and then because we were doing. Remember the bikes that you then.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how you got that thing to move, and then you guys were both moving the actual equipment.
It was a stationary bike that you actually got to use as a mode of transportation.
Tell me about the first time that you all saw Top Gun, the first movie.
Well, I'll start off by saying I saw it I'm a late bloomer to the game. I saw it as a college sophomore, and I remember just walking
Same.
away thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all saw it together?
Also NYU.
Did y'all see it together?
No,
Oh.
I'm older than him.
Could have been cool.
We should have just said,
time.
yeah,
We should've just
we
said-
watched it together. It's
We
so
watched it
crazy. It's
together,
small world.
college sophomore year at NYU, and I remember walking away just thinking like, oh, if there was ever a sequel, it would be amazing to take part in it because it's magic. So the fact that it happened, and after 33 years, we were here, it's because I manifested it into existence.
Wowzer.
Thank you so much, Danny. Has Tom thanked you?
I saw it for the first time on an Air Force base in Austin, Texas. My dad was in the Air Force, and we lived on Berkshire Air Force Base. And I remember going to the base on theater, and it was packed. families, pilots, mechanics, just tons of folks who support on the base. And the feeling of watching or just being in a room with so many people who felt like they were on screen and they were being portrayed on screen. Like, it was like screaming, it was hooting, it was high-fiving and like fist bumps. And it was just this crazy experience to see like all of these people who really fly jets for a living watching this thing as if it were like a brand new thing that like they've never experienced in their life. And I guess they hadn't at that time. And that was just such a wild experience. It just made me, I think the power of film for me really stands out in that moment and like how powerful storytelling is.
Well, and then we got to open a screening and I remember it was just so cool to hear you tell that story. Because like now you were gonna be the guy they were watching. It was like it was hitting you all at once. This is the first time he's had alcohol in a few years.
I think Tom would love it. I think Tom would love it. I think Tom would love it.
I'm dying.
Oh, this is great. This is flashbacks of an entire San Diego night where they had a drinking competition throughout.
To which I powered
It's
through
one of the
and
most
won.
powerful peer pressure communities you could ever sit in. He hasn't
Healthy peer pressure. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Glenn, you saw it when you were 10?
Yeah, my dad introduced me to the original Top Gun when I was 10. I liken it to basically like, you know, a dad asking his son to play catch for the first time. He like really, you could tell in his eyes like he really cared about this moment, that this was a big moment for him. And you know, he handed me the VHS and we sat down and I could tell he was just watching me while I was watching it, seeing how I was reacting to certain moments. And you know, and when we went on the naval base, it's just amazing how many of these aviators, Top Gun was the reason they became aviators. When they go out and they try to explain what they do to people, they're like, oh, you ever seen Top Gun? That's me. And I think it's really cool that, you know, the first movie inspired a generation of aviators. I think our movie is gonna do the same. So it's cool to be a part of that legacy.
Woo.
It inspired one particular new aviator by the name of.
I not a naval aviator. You know, I'm flying a little bit different horsepower than they are in the movie. But yeah, I'm a licensed pilot now.
What are the other films that inspired you to take up acting?
Boom. Denzel Washington.
What movie?
Is that a movie?
John Q.
The drink. There might be alcohol in there. Based off that answer, there might actually be alcohol in there.
Yeah, but then he said what movie?
That's all you.
No, he said what movie? You said Denzel.
No,
Washington.
you didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. It was a dramatic
Can
pause.
someone get us a water?
So we have Training Day. John Q. Man on Fire.
Man on Fire.
There we go.
What about you, Danny?
For me, it was Shawshank. Shawshank Redemption was just one of the movies that started it all. And then also, oh my God, this is the one that I should go for. City of God. Ciudad de Dios was one that I saw during my social studies 11th grade class. Our teacher would always show us films. And yeah, that's the one that I was like, that storytelling became really powerful. And I realized like the scope and scale of movies and stories you could tell.
Lewis?
Well, I wasn't allowed to watch TV growing up, weirdly enough, but we were allowed to watch 2 movies a weekend, and so, but we would go to the Blockbuster and every once in a while, but also I spent a lot of time in Montana, and we had the same set of VHSs, one of which was Legend, starring Tom Cruise. Has anyone seen that? Because he is a youngin' in that, and he is incredible. And it is one of those movies that's so fantastical and so kind of like, just like mythological. And he had such conviction, and he had such a sense of like, he took it so, with such weight, and he treated it with such like responsibility, with like, you know, really mythical subject matter. And I remember thinking that was pretty spectacular, and that and Stand By Me, you know, River Phoenix and Stand By Me, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What, did your dad influence you at all?
I mean, of course. I talk to my dad about acting
He
before
goes, nah,
every
not a
project.
fan.
No. Wait, sorry. Who's the actor? No, he's obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. He's one of my biggest influences of all time. I go to him with any questions, anytime. Nobody really can seem to understand, you know, the weird like problems that you might have as well as him, because he knows me better than anyone, and he also knows the business better than anyone. And so I just felt like that was a given. I didn't even want to say that.
Well, I mean, people go unappreciated. Give them their flowers, man.
By the way, do you guys remember the moment where we wrapped a little early and we stood by the trailers and Tom talked about A Few Good Men?
Yeah.
About the making of A Few Good Men by the trailer. That was one of my favorite memories. Is Tom sat there and he walked us through what it was like to shoot that final scene in A Few Good Men with Nicholson, and you know, him going back and forth, and what Nicholson was doing, what his process was, which famous actors were in the audience watching them shoot at that time. And it was really, you got to watch him geek out, you know, because he knows like the effect, like we're all looking to him like a guy that has all the answers, and he's going back in his career saying like, hey, I didn't have all the answers. I was geeking out the same way you are here. And it was just, I don't know, that's a really special moment that really, I think, solidified the mentorship role that he took with all of us over the course of this thing.
And
Yeah,
then
we
he
would
brought,
rap
like,
and
what
then
brought, oh, sorry.
We would rap and then he would tell us stories for like 2 hours. We would just stand in a
McHugh.
circle after a long day's
And
work.
McHugh, it was like every day we got like, it was this master class. Like it was like Monday was Tom Day, Tuesday was McHugh Day,
Yeah.
Wednesday was Tom Day.
Yeah,
drink.
Jerry too, yeah.
And Jerry, yeah.